Hello! In this video, I'm going to go over how to install custom fonts on your machine. So maybe you find yourself that you're trying to find the perfect font. Even though on your computer you have a large collection of fonts, none of these fonts just quite will do, and you want to find a better font. So what I'm going to show you two different ways. I'm going to show you one, installing fonts using Adobe Creative Cloud, some of the benefits of doing that, but also I'm going to show you another site that I like to use called TheFontcom, and as the student, you'll be able to decide which of these two methods works better for you, or you might decide to use both of them. So you can see that there's lots of fonts. But I want to show you how to install your own fonts. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. So first I want to make sure that I have the the type tool selected. If you notice right here when I selected the font, one, you could either click right here, there's more fonts from Adobe Fonts, or if you are in the type tool, if you click on uh, this little, let's see, where was it? Oh yeah, so the same area where you're selecting fonts within the character panel, you can also click on this one. It's the same shortcut that leads you to the same location. Once I click on this, now I already had it open, but it's opening up my window, and I'm already logged in. So you do have a benefit of logging in, because within this website you're able to browse a series of different types of fonts, and right here there is filters. If I hide the filters, it shows me this. You could either do a list view, a grid view, so depending on what you like to see. One of the things that I appreciate is that you could always type in the word. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and just type in art 108 visual technologies, so that I get a better idea of what my font's going to look like. I'm going to go back to show filters, and right here I could see the different fonts. Maybe I want to look at a certain style of font, and right here it's like let's see, what if I want something, what is friendly fonts, what do they look like? Now they do offer this, either their little highlight, this little like thumbs up, thumbs down, and you could also interactively say is this friendly, or does this style of font fits within this category? So say for example, this one right here, this dolly, it's like maybe I don't like it, or I don't feel personally that it belongs in friendly, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a thumbs down. Or maybe you see one that does. You could give it a thumbs up. It just is helping them. Uh, you could also go through different styles. Let's see. What if I want shaded? What are shaded styles? Okay, this looks pretty. This looks fun. This Maddie, or this Zubilo font, or even this one. I like this Gil Sans Nova, or this one Strenuous. You know what? Let's go ahead. I'm going to go to the top one right here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. It's taking me to this family. And what I could do up on top, you can see I could activate the family of fonts. This one just has one. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it, I'm going to activate it. And notice that what I've done, by activating it, I get this little window right here. Uh, all the fonts that are available through Adobe Fonts. Uh, you have you don't have to worry about licensing. Well, it's giving you. Well, I shouldn't say you shouldn't. You don't have to worry about licensing. I should have said it simplifies the licensing, so you're able to use this font for all your personal and commercial use. You can use them anywhere that this font will show up in any Adobe application. That's very important. And since I have Creative Cloud working, installed, I'm signed into my account, it's going to show up. I'm going to go OK. So I just installed Maddie. So I'm going to go back to Photoshop. I'm going to go ahead and go to my fonts right here, and I'm going to type Maddie. Check it out. It's already there. And so I could even change something that I already had. Or if I want to, I'll just go ahead and just change it because I was able to apply it. Oh, let's see. Let's go back. Let's go ahead. I didn't select OK. Maddie. I'm going to click on this. Click. Done. It's now been applied. Just like that, I was able to install these fonts. Now, the one issue that I have with this site is that it's not as robust as this other site that I want to show you. I'm going to go back to my web browser here, and I'm going to create a new web browser. I'm going to go to www.TheFontcom. This site I think is really cool because they have all these different this site has been around a long time, so they have a lot more of different styles. So say, for example, if you want to look for something specific, say I want something that's going to be like pixel bitmap. I go right here. It gives me different pixel bitmaps. I could also do a preview. I'm going to type art 108 visual technologies. I tell it to submit, and now it's giving me that type. I could change the font size or how many fonts, 25, 50, 100. Sort by popularity or newest. I'm going to leave it to by popular, but you can see the different fonts for under bitmap. But what if I want something that's more, say, let's see. This is where I would ask the class for a style. Let's go to graffiti. Graffiti. Oh, check these out. Yeah, these are really cool. Attack graffiti. I like that. I the the idea of the drips that are coming down. A dripping marker. But you know what? Let's go ahead and just download the top one. Now this one, I have to do a couple of steps. I have to download it first. I'm going to go ahead and download this onto my computer. And what I now have on my computer, I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And I have this folder right here. It says attack. And I have two different files. This is a TTF and an OTF. A TTF is a true typeface font. OTF is an open typeface font. To install these on a Mac or a PC, I'm just going to double click on it on a Mac. On the PC, it's, I believe, a similar process where you just double click on it. It'll give you the option to install on your machine. On a Mac, it's opening up this application called FontBook. I just installed the font down here in the bottom right-hand corner, and it opens up FontBook and it shows me the user. These are the fonts that I've installed on my machine, specifically my machine. I have this attack graffiti, this computer font, and this space age font. I'm going to go back to the other one. I want to double click on this one. It looks like they're similar fonts, so I do not need to install both of them. So A attack graffiti, I'm going to go back into Photoshop now. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on this layer. And it is alphabetical. Because it's alphabetical, you can see that it's already there. I could click on it, and just like that, I could bring up my font. Now, a word of warning though, or a word of caution, in that by installing fonts this way, this font I have specifically installed on this machine. If I move or send this file by itself without a font, I'll get a warning message, and maybe my font might not display correctly. In that warning message, it'll offer you the opportunity to either correct the issue, either by installing the font. But if the good thing with the Adobe fonts is that if it is an Adobe font and it's in their library, you'll be able to install it even though you didn't download it. But a font like this that was installed from the internet could be an issue because I would have to know where to find it. So I would suggest, if you are going to be doing something like this, especially for your projects, I'm going to make a copy of this layer. I'm going to suggest that you do what's called you rasterize your font. by having a copy, I could always go back to my original font. So I'm going to hide this one. So you can see how this one's here. I'm going to hide it. I'm going to bring back my copy. On my copied font right here, I'm going to right mouse click on it. And as I scroll down, there's this option right here to rasterize type. What this does, it's changing it from editable type to an image. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And notice how it changed. This is now looks like a font, a pixel preview as opposed to this T, which is our type. If I try to use my type tool here, notice that I cannot click here to edit. But if I was to use my eraser tool as an example, and I'm going to make this smaller, and I go through it, this is now pixels that I could erase through. So I'm going to undo these two steps right here. The benefit of this is that this is now pixels. I'm able to edit these as I would any type of pixel layer within Photoshop. I cannot edit the type anymore. Say I want to space out my lettering so it's easier to read. I can't do that here. But the good thing is that I kept a copy of my type right here, and this one I could space out a bit. And if I want to save this out, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and let's say at this point I want to convert this to, I didn't want to do that. If I want to convert these to pixels, I can. I could always copy this layer. I'm going to hide the bottom one, right mouse click, and I'm going to tell it to rasterize this type. And now this one is the finished results that I wanted to have. Okay, so these are different considerations whenever you're downloading and installing fonts, and if you're especially if you're using a font that is not a default font that is found on your computer. And how do you find the default fonts on your machine? In Photoshop, under the Type tool or within this character panel, any font that has these little TT or this O, those are fonts that are installed on by default on your machine. Anyone that has these icons, these were installed through Creative Cloud. All right, so this concludes this learning video. Thank you for your time.